Hey, welcome to Alpha and Flames. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our stories. Now, sit back, relax, and dive into today's drama-filled tale. You know that moment when your entire world shatters like someone dropped it from a very tall building? Yeah, I'm living that moment right now. Except instead of dramatic slow motion with a piano playing in the background, I'm standing outside a coffee shop at 2 in the afternoon, staring through the window at my alpha boyfriend with another Omega. And they're not just chatting. No, they're leaning in close, laughing, the other Omega's hand on my boyfriend's arm in that familiar, intimate way that makes my stomach feel like it's trying to eat itself from the inside out. My name is Ezra Chun, and I'm about to have the worst day of my 24-year-old life. Also, I would like to formally declare that I blame the universe for this specific brand of torture, because I specifically asked for a peaceful Wednesday. Instead, I got betrayal with a side of public humiliation. The thing about catching your boyfriend potentially cheating is that your brain doesn't process it like a normal human being. Instead, it goes through approximately 17 stages of denial in 3 seconds. First, there's "that's not him." Except it definitely is him because I bought him that jacket for his birthday. Second, there's "they're probably just friends." Except friends don't touch each other's faces like they're memorizing the contours for a sculpture. Third, there's "maybe I'm hallucinating." Except I haven't been drinking, I'm fully caffeinated, and I can literally see them through a window. My best friend Milo stands beside me, frozen mid-sip of his bubble tea. "Ezra," he says slowly, like he's talking to a rabid animal. That's Kai, right? Kai Zhang, my boyfriend of 2 years. The alpha who told me 3 months ago that I was his forever. The same alpha who's currently holding hands with a stunning Omega who has better bone structure than a Greek statue and hair that probably takes 12 hours to style but looks effortlessly perfect. Yes, I hear myself say. My voice sounds distant, like it's coming from underwater. That's definitely Kai. And who's that with him? I have absolutely no idea, but I'm about to find out. Milo grabs my arm before I can storm inside. Ezra, wait, maybe there's an explanation. An explanation? Milo, they're practically sitting in each other's laps. Maybe it's his cousin. I give him a look that could freeze lava. I've met his cousins. All 3 of them. None of them look like a K-pop idol who wandered off a magazine cover. Maybe it's a work thing? Kai works in software engineering. Since when does debugging code require holding someone's hand and gazing into their eyes like you're in a romance novel? Milo has no answer for that. Probably because there is no good answer. We stand there for another moment, me trying to convince my legs to move, my heart trying to convince itself not to explode out of my chest. Then the mystery Omega leans forward and wipes something off Kai's face. Gently, tenderly, with the kind of casual intimacy that takes months to develop. And something inside me snaps clean in half. I push through the coffee shop door with enough force that the little bell above it sounds less like a cheerful jingle and more like a warning siren. Kai and the other Omega look up simultaneously. For one beautiful, terrible second, I watch Kai's face cycle through confusion, recognition, and pure unadulterated panic. Ezra, he says, standing up so fast he nearly knocks over his coffee. I can explain. Those are possibly the 3 worst words in the English language. Right up there with "we need to talk" and "it's not what it looks like." Spoiler alert. It's always what it looks like. Really? I hear myself say. My voice is remarkably steady considering my entire world is currently on fire. You can explain why you're here with whoever this is? I gesture at the other Omega, who's watching us with wide eyes. This is my Kai starts. Don't. I cut him off, holding up a hand. Just don't. I don't want to hear it right now. The other Omega stands up, and I notice he's tall. Like unfairly tall for an Omega. He opens his mouth like he's going to say something, but I'm already backing toward the door. Ezra, please, Kai says, reaching for me. His alpha pheromone spike, that familiar cedar and rain scent that usually makes me feel safe now making me feel nauseous. Let me explain. No. The word comes out sharp, final. I'm going home. Don't follow me. I turn and walk out, Milo scrambling after me. Behind us, I hear Kai calling my name, but I don't stop. I can't stop, because if I turn around and look at him, I'm going to either cry or throw something, and I refuse to give him the satisfaction of either. We make it half a block before my legs start shaking. Milo steers me into a side alley, and that's when the tears finally come. Hot, angry, humiliating tears that I absolutely did not want to cry in public. That absolute, I choke out between sobs. That complete and utter piece of garbage. I know, Milo says, rubbing my back. I know. 2 years, Milo. 2 years. We were talking about moving in together. We were planning our future. And I can't finish the sentence. Don't need to. Milo knows. My phone buzzes in my pocket. Then again. And again. I pull it out to see Kai's name lighting up the screen. 3 missed calls. 7 text messages. Kai. Ezra, please answer. Kai. It's not what you think. Kai. Let me explain. Kai. That wasn't anything bad, I swear. Kai. Please just talk to me. Kai, don't do this. Kai. I love you. I stare at that last message for a long moment. Then I do something I've never done before. I block his number. The sudden silence is deafening. Good, Milo says, watching over my shoulder. He doesn't deserve to talk to you right now. I need to go home, I say, wiping my face with my sleeve. I need to pack. Pack? His stuff. All of it. Every shirt, every book, every stupid little thing he's left at my apartment over the past 2 years. It's all going in boxes, and he can come pick it up whenever. But I can't look at it right now. Milo nods. I'll help you. We take the subway back to my apartment, and I spend the entire ride staring at nothing, replaying the scene in my head, looking for signs I might have missed, red flags I could have ignored. The thought gnaws at me, was the other Omega someone he'd been seeing all along? How long could this have been going on? Had I been that oblivious? Or was I looking for patterns that didn't exist? My apartment feels different when we walk in, like it's already starting to not be mine. One of Kai's jackets is draped over the back of my couch. His favorite mug is in the dish rack. His laptop charger is still plugged in by the coffee table. Little pieces of him scattered throughout my space, and suddenly they all feel like shrapnel. Okay, Milo says, clapping his hands together with forced cheerfulness. Let's do this systematically. I'll handle the bedroom, you take the living room. I can't go in the bedroom yet, right? Living room it is. I'll get boxes. While Milo rummages in my closet for boxes I'd been saving from a recent move, I stand in my living room and try to remember how to breathe normally. This morning, I woke up in this apartment thinking about what to make Kai for dinner when he came over tonight. Now I'm packing his things so I never have to see him again. The universe really does have a sick sense of humor. I start with the obvious things. One of his jackets gets folded, placed in a box. His mug wrapped in newspaper set aside. His charging cables coiled neatly, added to the growing pile. Each item feels like a small death, a tiny funeral for the relationship I thought we had. Milo emerges from the bedroom with an armful of Kai's clothes. Found these in your closet. Also, he has like 6 identical black t-shirts. Why does one alpha need 6 identical black t-shirts? He says they're slightly different shades of black. They're not. I know. We work in silence for a while. The only sounds the rustling of cardboard and the occasional sniffle from me. My phone buzzes again. Not Kai this time, he's blocked, but from a number I don't recognize. Unknown. Ezra, this is Kai using my friend's phone. Unknown. Please just let me explain. Unknown. What you saw wasn't what you think. I stare at the messages for a long moment, then show them to Milo. He's using someone else's phone to text you? Milo's voice drips with disgust. That's actually pathetic. Should I block this number too? Definitely. I do. The satisfaction is immediate but hollow. By the time we finish packing, it's dark outside. 5 boxes sit stacked by my door, containing 2 years of Kai's presence in my life. It should feel like more. It should take up more space. Instead, it's just 5 cardboard boxes that I can't wait to be rid of. What now? Milo asks, collapsing on my couch. Now? I look around my apartment. Feels emptier, quieter, wrong. Now I order an obscene amount of Thai food, watch movies with gratuitous violence, and pretend my heart isn't actively trying to crawl out of my chest and die. Solid plan. I'll stay over. You don't have to. I know. But I'm going to anyway. because you're my best friend and you just caught your boyfriend doing whatever that was, and nobody should be alone after that. I nod, not trusting myself to speak. Milo orders the food while I change into the most comfortable, least Kai-adjacent pajamas I own. By the time the delivery arrives, I've successfully not cried for a whole 20 minutes, which feels like a personal record. We're halfway through our pad thai and some explosion-heavy action movie when my phone buzzes again. Different number. Unknown. Ezra, it's Kai, please. Unknown. I know you keep blocking me, but you need to know the truth. Unknown. That person you saw wasn't what you think. Unknown, he's my brother. I stare at that last message. Brother. He's claiming the gorgeous Omega I saw him being intimate with is his brother. He's saying that's his brother. I tell Milo, showing him the phone. Milo reads the messages, his expression cycling through disbelief, anger, and something that might be concern. His brother? Kai has a brother. Not that he's ever mentioned. I've met his parents twice, his cousins, his aunt. Never once has he said anything about having a brother. So he's lying. Obviously he's lying. I'm blocking this number. Wait. Milo grabs my wrist before I can hit the block button. What if he's not lying? I turn to look at my best friend like he's grown a second head. Are you seriously suggesting I believe him right now? I'm suggesting that maybe, just maybe, you should hear him out before you completely cut him off forever. I saw them together, Milo, holding hands, being all intimate. That's not how brothers act. Ezra, you don't have siblings. I do. And yeah, most of the time we want to murder each other, but sometimes siblings are actually close. Not that close. You don't know that. You're an only child. He's got a point, unfortunately. I am an only child. My knowledge of sibling dynamics comes entirely from sitcoms and the occasional dramatic family scene I've witnessed at the grocery store. Maybe close siblings do act more affectionately than I would assume. Even if, and this is a very big if, even if that was his brother, why would he never mention having a brother? Why would he keep that secret for 2 years? Milo doesn't have an answer for that. We sit in silence, my phone still displaying Kai's messages. Block him, Milo finally says. If he really wants to explain, he'll find a way that doesn't involve harassing you through every phone number in his contact list. I block the number. Then, because I'm petty and hurt and angry, I also block him on every social media platform I can think of. Instagram, Facebook, even LinkedIn, because apparently I'm that person now. The violence in the movie isn't helping. I turn it off and switch to a mindless reality show about people buying tiny houses. It's stupid and shallow and requires zero emotional investment, which is exactly what I need right now. You know what makes this worse? I say during a commercial break. I was happy, like genuinely happy. This morning I woke up and I was thinking about our anniversary next month and what we should do to celebrate and whether I should make reservations at that restaurant he loves. I was planning our future, Milo. And the whole time he was, you don't know what he was doing, Milo says gently. You don't know the full story. I know enough. Do I though? The question nags at me as we finish watching people argue about square footage. I saw Kai with another Omega. They were close, intimate. But I didn't actually see them kiss. I didn't see them do anything explicitly romantic. Just hand-holding and face-touching and looking at each other with what appeared to be deep affection. Which, okay, yes, still suspicious. Still concerning. Still what seemed like a valid reason to be upset. But maybe possibly not definitive proof of cheating. No, I shake my head, physically trying to dislodge the doubt. I'm not doing this. I'm not talking myself into believing everything's fine when what I saw clearly looked wrong. That's how people end up in those relationships where they make excuses for increasingly troubling behavior, convincing themselves of alternative explanations even when the truth seems obvious. Kai appeared to screw up. That's what the evidence suggests. End of story. My phone buzzes again. I consider throwing it out the window. Unknown. Ezra, it's Kai. I'm sorry I keep borrowing phones. Unknown. I need you to listen to me. Unknown. The person you saw is Asher. Unknown, he's my twin brother. Unknown. I've never told you about him because we've been estranged. Unknown. He showed up 3 weeks ago wanting to reconnect. Unknown. I didn't tell you because I wasn't sure how to explain. Unknown. But he's family. That's all. Nothing more. Unknown. Please believe me. Unknown. I would never cheat on you. Unknown, you're everything to me. Twin brother. Now the story's getting more elaborate. I show the messages to Milo. Twin brother. Milo reads slowly. Estranged for unstated reasons. Showed up 3 weeks ago. Didn't tell you because reasons. It sounds like a soap opera plot. It really does. I'm blocking this number. Are you sure? I pause, thumb hovering over the block button. Why do you keep defending him? I'm not defending him. I'm playing devil's advocate. Because yes, what you saw looked bad. But Ezra, I've known Kai for 2 years too. I've seen how he looks at you. How he talks about you when you're not around. That man is stupidly in love with you. Apparently not stupidly enough to not hold hands with mysterious omegas in coffee shops. Fair point. I block the number. Then I turn off my phone entirely and throw it across the room onto the armchair. It bounces once and settles between the cushions, which is probably where it deserves to be. Movie marathon? Milo suggests. We could watch that disaster trilogy we love. The one with the terrible CGI and the worst acting. Perfect. We watch 3 hours of gloriously bad cinema. The kind where the dialogue is so wooden you could build furniture from it and the special effects look like they were done by a particularly ambitious middle schooler. It's exactly the kind of mindless entertainment I need. Except I can't stop thinking about Kai's messages. Twin brother. Estranged. Family emergency. Wanting to reconnect. The story has enough detail to be plausible. But then all good lies have detail. I must drift off during the 3rd movie because I wake up to sunlight streaming through my windows and Milo snoring on the other end of the couch. My neck aches from the awkward angle. My eyes feel like they've been replaced with sandpaper. And for one beautiful second, I don't remember why I feel like emotional death. Then it all comes rushing back. Kai. The coffee shop. The other Omega. The messages. The blocking. All of it hitting me like a truck made of feelings. I carefully extract myself from the couch without waking Milo and shuffle to the bathroom. The person in the mirror looks like they had a fight with their life and lost. Hair sticking up in 17 directions. Eyes puffy and red. Skin that strange pallor that comes from crying too much and sleeping too little. You look like hell, I tell my reflection. My reflection doesn't argue. I splash cold water on my face and try to remember what it felt like to be happy. Was it really just yesterday morning? Feels like years ago. Like happiness happened to a different person in a different life. My phone, right? I turned it off and threw it. I dig it out of the armchair cushions and turn it on. Immediately regretting that decision as approximately 47 notifications flood my screen. Most of them are from unknown numbers. All of them are variations of the same message. Kai begging me to listen. Kai explaining about his brother. Kai promising it's not what I think. Kai saying he loves me. There's also a message from a name I don't recognize. Asher Zhang. Asher, hi Ezra. Asher. I know you don't know me. Asher. But I'm Kai's twin brother. Asher. What you saw yesterday was completely innocent. Asher. We were planning something for you. Asher. Kai has been working with me for weeks. Asher. He loves you so much. Asher. Please give him a chance to explain properly. Asher. You can meet me if you want proof we're brothers. Asher. I'll show you everything. I stare at the messages, my brain slowly processing. The alleged brother is contacting me directly, offering to meet, offering proof. This is either the truth or an elaborately coordinated lie. I'm not sure which is worse. Ezra? Milo's voice, rough with sleep. You okay? The brother is texting me. Milo's instantly alert, shuffling over to read over my shoulder. The alleged brother. He wants to meet, to prove it. That's either really confident or really stupid. I'm thinking both. We stand there in my living room, dawn light making everything look washed out and surreal. Part of me wants to delete all the messages, block every number, move on with my life and pretend Kaizhong never existed. But another part, a smaller, more persistent part, keeps whispering what if? What if it's true? What if I'm making a huge mistake? I think you should meet him, Milo says quietly. Are you insane? Maybe. But Ezra, if there's even a chance this is all a misunderstanding, don't you want to know? And if it's not, if it's just more lies, then you'll have confirmation that you made the right decision cutting Kai out of your life. Either way, you get some form of closure. Closure. The word tastes bitter. I've never been fond of the concept of closure. It seems to imply that endings can be neat and clean, wrapped up with a bow. In my experience, endings are messy and painful and leave scars that ache in the rain. But Milo's right about one thing. I need to know. I can't spend the rest of my life wondering if I walked away from the love of my life because of a misunderstanding. I type out a response to Asher before I can talk myself out of it. Me fine. Coffee shop on Morrison Street. 2 p.m. today. Come alone. His response is immediate. Asher. Thank you. Asher. I'll be there. Asher. You won't regret this. We'll see about that. The coffee shop I chose is neutral territory. Not the one where I caught them yesterday. That place is now dead to me, but a different one across town. It's busy enough that I feel safe but quiet enough that we can actually talk. Also, Milo's parked outside in his car as backup, because I watch a lot of true crime documentaries and I'm not stupid. I arrive 15 minutes early and claim a corner table where I can see the door. Order a coffee I don't really want. Try to calm my racing heart and spiraling thoughts. At exactly 2 p.m., someone walks through the door. And I do a double take because he looks exactly like Kai. Not similar. Not kind of resembles. Exactly like Kai. Same height. Same build. Same face. The only difference is the hair. Kai keeps his short and neat, while this guy's is longer, styled differently. And the way he carries himself. Kai moves with quiet confidence. This guy has something softer, more tentative. He spots me immediately, as though he knew exactly what I looked like. Perhaps Kai showed him photos. He walks over with a small, careful smile. Ezra? His voice is different from Kai's. Lighter. And his scent, I catch it as he approaches, is similar to Kai's cedar but with notes of vanilla instead of rain. You must be Asher, I say, trying to keep my voice neutral. Thank you for meeting me. He sits down across from me, hands folded on the table. I know this must be incredibly weird. Weird is one word for it. Apocalyptic might be another. He winces. I'm so sorry about yesterday. If I'd known you were there, if I'd known you'd see us and think I never would have. Let's start with the basics, I interrupt. Are you really Kai's brother? Twin brother, yes. And you've been estranged. For 6 years. Since I was 21. Why? Asher looks down at his hands. That's a long story. The short version is that our parents had very specific ideas about what they wanted for their alpha son. Kai, as the older twin by 3 minutes, was supposed to follow in our father's footsteps. Business degree, corporate job, eventually take over the family company. Me, as the younger twin and an omega, I was supposed to find a nice alpha to mate with and give our parents grandchildren. That's archaic. That's our family. When I turned 21, I told them I didn't want that life. I wanted to study art. I wanted to travel. I wanted to figure out who I was outside of their expectations. They gave me an ultimatum. Follow their plan or leave. He looks up at me, and there's real pain in his eyes that seems genuine, though I'm still wary. I left, and Kai didn't stop me, didn't fight for me, so I cut off contact with everyone. Something about the way he says this, the quiet hurt, rings true. And 3 weeks ago, I realized I was wrong, about a lot of things. About Kai most of all. So I called him, asked if we could meet, and he said yes. Just like that. No anger, no resentment. Just yes. What were you doing at the coffee shop yesterday? Asher reaches into his bag and pulls out a folder. Opens it to reveal photographs, receipts, printouts. We were planning. Kai wanted my help with something important. Something that required artistic input. He slides a photograph across the table. It's a rendering of a garden. Beautiful, elaborate, with string lights and flowers, and in the center, a small stage with an archway covered in white roses. What is this? I ask, though something in my chest is already starting to suspect. A proposal setup, Asher says quietly. Kai's been planning it for months. He wanted it to be perfect. Romantic. Everything you deserve. He asked for my help because I studied set design and he wanted someone who could make his vision reality. We've been meeting in secret because he wanted it to be a surprise. The photograph blurs as my vision goes watery. No. The hand holding? My voice cracks. The face touching? I was fixing his collar. He had some lint. And the hand-holding I was showing him fabric swatches for the table settings. You can see them in this other photo. He shows me another picture, and sure enough, Kai and Asher are holding hands, but between their hands are small squares of fabric in different shades of blue. The looking into each other's eyes? He was emotional, talking about you, about how much he loves you, about how he's going to propose and he's terrified you'll say no even though I keep telling him there's no way you would. I was trying to reassure him. Brother to brother. Every word feels like a knife. Every photograph seems to be evidence of my own stupidity, though part of me still searches for alternative explanations. I whisper. I thought he was cheating. I know, and that's my fault. If I'd known you were there, I would have explained immediately. If Kai had told you about me ahead of time, this never would have happened. But he was trying to keep it secret, keep the proposal a surprise. And now it seems I've ruined everything. Asher looks genuinely distressed, like this is his personal failure. Does Kai know you're telling me this? No. He's going to kill me. He wanted to do this properly. Wanted to explain in person. Wanted to show you everything himself. But you blocked him. And you were hurting. And I couldn't let you think he'd betrayed you when he loves you more than anything. I can't breathe. The coffee shop is too small, too hot, too full of the evidence of my catastrophic mistake. The proposal, I manage. When was it supposed to happen? Next week. Your anniversary. I've ruined it. You didn't ruin anything. You saw something suspicious and you reacted rationally. This is not your fault. Except it feels like my fault. It seems like I should have trusted Kai more. Should have given him a chance to explain instead of running away and blocking him. But maybe I was doing what anyone would do in that situation. I need to talk to him, I say, standing up so fast my chair scrapes loudly against the floor. I need to apologize. I need to. Hey! Asher stands too, puts a gentle hand on my arm. Breathe, Ezra. Just breathe. Kai loves you. He's not going anywhere. You have time. I blocked him on everything. He knows where you live, right? Of course. He's probably been giving me space, respecting my boundaries even though I was wrong, so completely wrong. Thank you, I tell Asher, for telling me, for showing me, for being willing to meet a stranger who probably hates you. I don't think you're capable of hate, Asher says with a small smile. Kai talks about you constantly, about how kind you are, how generous, how you see the best in people. He wasn't wrong. We exchange numbers, the real ones this time, and I promise to keep him updated. Then I practically sprint out of the coffee shop to where Milo's waiting in his car. Drive, I say, diving into the passenger seat. Drive where? Kai's apartment. Now, immediately. I've made a terrible mistake and I need to fix it right now before I lose him forever. To his credit, Milo doesn't ask questions. Just starts the car and drives. I spend the entire trip rehearsing what I'm going to say. Kai, I'm sorry. Kai, I was wrong. Kai, please forgive me for being an idiot. None of it sounds right. How do you apologize for not trusting someone who's never given you a reason not to trust them? How do you come back from that? Kai's apartment building looms ahead. Milo pulls up to the curb and I'm out of the car before he's even fully stopped. Running through the lobby, jabbing the elevator button repeatedly like that'll make it come faster. The ride up to the 7th floor takes approximately 17 years. When the doors finally open, I sprint down the hallway to apartment 712. Knock on the door. Wait, knock again, harder. Kai, I call out. Kai, it's me. Please open up. I need to talk to you. Nothing. No sound from inside. No indication anyone's home. I knock again. Kai, please. I know about Asher. I know about the proposal. I know I screwed everything up, but please just let me explain. Still nothing. My phone buzzes. Text from Asher. Asher, he's not home. Asher, he left this morning. Asher said he needed time alone to think. My heart sinks. Time alone to think. That's not good. That's never good. That's breakup language. Me, where did he go? Asher, I don't know. Asher, he wasn't answering my calls either. Asher, I'm worried about him. Great. Perfect. I've successfully driven away the love of my life and now nobody knows where he is. I slide down against Kai's door, sitting in the hallway like a sad abandoned puppy. Pull out my phone and unblock Kai on everything. Then I call him. It rings once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Then voicemail. Kai, I say into my phone, voice shaking. I know you're probably not ready to talk to me, and I understand, but please know that I'm sorry. I should have trusted you. I should have given you a chance to explain. Instead, I ran away and blocked you and acted like a complete and total idiot. Asher told me everything. About the proposal, about the planning, about how you were trying to make everything perfect for me. And I ruined it by being paranoid and stupid. But Kai, if you still want to marry me, the answer is yes. It's yes 1,000 times over. I don't need a fancy proposal or a perfect setup. I just need you. So please call me back when you're ready. I'll be waiting. I hang up, stare at my phone like I can will it to ring through sheer desperation. It doesn't ring. Milo appears at the end of the hallway, having parked the car, takes in my position on the floor and my expression and sits down next to me without a word. I'm an idiot, I tell him. Yeah. You're supposed to disagree. Why? You're right. You are an idiot. Thanks for the support. You're welcome. So what's the plan now? I don't know. Wait, I guess. Hope he calls back. Hope he comes home. Hope I haven't completely destroyed the best thing that ever happened to me. We sit there in the hallway for I don't know how long. Other residents pass by, giving us curious looks, but nobody asks what we're doing. Maybe we look pathetic enough that they feel uncomfortable interfering. My phone finally buzzes. I grab it so fast I nearly drop it. But it's not Kai. It's Asher. Asher, found him. Asher. He's at the Botanical Gardens. Asher. The one on Riverside. Asher, go to the Rose Garden section. Asher. And Ezra? Good luck. The Botanical Gardens. Of course. That's where we had our first date. Where Kai held my hand for the first time. Where he told me he was falling for me under an arbor of climbing roses. Botanical Gardens, I tell Milo, already standing. Let's go. You're going to wear yourself out running all over the city. I'm going to wear myself out worrying if I don't find him soon. The drive to the gardens takes 20 minutes that feel like hours. I don't know what I'm going to say. Don't know if Kai will even want to see me. But I have to try. Have to make this right. We park and I practically leap out of the car, jogging through the entrance, following the signs to the Rose Garden. It's late afternoon. The sun's starting to sink lower, painting everything in gold. The garden is beautiful, but I barely notice. My entire focus is on finding Kai. And then I see him, sitting on a bench under the rose arbor, looking out at the flower beds. He looks tired, lost, and it's my fault. Kai? I call out, slowing to a walk as I approach. He turns, and the expression on his face is complicated. Hope and hurt and love and pain all mixed together. Ezra. I stop a few feet away, suddenly nervous. Can I sit? He nods and I sit down on the bench, leaving space between us even though I want nothing more than to throw myself into his arms. I talk to Asher. I start. He showed me everything. The plans, the photographs, the receipts. And I realized I made a huge mistake. I'm so sorry, Kai. I should have trusted you. Should have given you a chance to explain instead of assuming the worst. I should have told you about Asher, Kai says quietly. I wanted to, so many times. But it was complicated, and I didn't know how to explain without ruining the surprise of the proposal, and I thought I had more time before you two would meet. You couldn't have predicted I'd walk by that specific coffee shop at that exact moment. No, but I could have been honest from the start. Could have mentioned I was reconnecting with my estranged twin instead of keeping it secret. We sit in silence for a moment, both of us processing. The proposal, I say carefully. Tell me about it. The real version. From you. Kai turns to face me fully, and I see tears gathering in his eyes. I've been planning it for months. Since January. I wanted it to be perfect. Romantic. Everything you deserve. I remembered how much you loved the Botanical Gardens. How you said you'd want to get married somewhere surrounded by flowers. So I rented out a section of the gardens for next week. Had Asher designing the setup because he's brilliant at that kind of thing and I wanted it to look like something out of a fairy tale. He reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a small velvet box. My breath catches. I was going to bring you here, to this spot where we had our first date. And I was going to get down on one knee and tell you that you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. That you make me laugh and make me think and make me want to be better. That I want to spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you make me. And then I was going to ask you to marry me. He opens the box and inside is a ring. Simple, elegant, with a small blue stone that catches the fading sunlight. Ezra-chan, Kai says. And now he is crying, tears running down his face as he slides off the bench onto one knee. I know this isn't how I planned it. I know everything's gone wrong and you probably imagined this moment very differently. But I can't wait anymore. I love you. I've loved you since the day you insisted on trying to teach me to make dumplings even though I have the cooking skills of a concussed goldfish. I've loved you since you defended my terrible taste in movies. I've loved you since you fell asleep on my shoulder during that train ride and drooled on my jacket and were so mortified when you woke up that you didn't talk to me for an hour. I'm crying now too. Ugly, happy tears that I don't even try to hide. I love the way you snort when you laugh really hard. I love how you organize your books by color even though it makes no practical sense. I love how you always steal my hoodies and then pretend you don't know where they went. I love every single thing about you, even the things that drive me crazy. Especially the things that drive me crazy. He takes a shaky breath. So, Ezra, will you marry me? Will you let me spend the rest of my life proving that you made the right choice? That I'm worthy of your trust? That we can get through anything as long as we're together? I slide off the bench onto my knees in front of him, taking his face in my hands. Yes, I say through my tears. Yes, you ridiculous man. Of course I'll marry you. I'll marry you 1,000 times over. I'll marry you even though you scared me half to death. I'll marry you even though this has been the worst 24 hours of my entire life. I'll marry you because you're kind and patient and you didn't give up on me even when I gave you every reason to. Kai kisses me then, deep and desperate and full of relief, and when we finally break apart, he slides the ring onto my finger. Fits perfectly. I'm still sorry, I whisper, about not trusting you. And I'm sorry about not being honest. We both made mistakes. But Ezra, we're gonna make so many more mistakes over the years. The important thing is that we figure them out together. Together, I agree. We stay there in the garden, kneeling on the grass, holding each other as the sun sets and the automatic lights start to come on in the flower beds. Behind us, I hear Milo's voice calling out, "Did he say yes? I want to know if I should start planning my best man speech." Kai laughs, that beautiful warm sound I was afraid I'd never hear again. I said yes, I call back. Finally, I've been writing this speech for 6 months. 6 months. I pull back to look at Kai. Milo knew. Everyone knew. Your entire friend group has been in on this. Why do you think they kept suggesting we all go to restaurants with garden patios? They were helping me scout locations. I hate all of you. You love all of us. I love you, I correct. The rest of them are on probation. Kai kisses me again, softer this time. I love you too. And Ezra? Even though today didn't go according to plan, I wouldn't change it. Because now I know for certain that we can survive misunderstandings and hurt feelings and even thinking the worst of each other. And we can come back from it. Together. Together, I repeat. Milo jogs over, pulling out his phone. Okay, now that the crisis is resolved, can you two recreate that proposal thing again? I want photos for Instagram. Absolutely not. Kai and I say in unison. Worth a shot. We stand up, Kai's arm around my waist, my hand in his. The ring on my finger catches the light, and I can't stop looking at it. So, I say, about that elaborate proposal setup you'd planned. What about it? Can we still do it? Kai looks at me in surprise. You want to? I want the full experience. The fairy tale setup, the flowers, all of it. Just because we had the real proposal here doesn't mean we can't have the fancy one too. Think of it as a redo, a do-over. A vow renewal before we even have vows? Exactly. Kai laughs. You're ridiculous. You're marrying me. So what does that say about you? That I have excellent taste in ridiculous omegas. We walk back to the car, Milo trailing behind us, still trying to sneak photos. My phone buzzes with a text from Asher. Asher. Did he say yes? Me, he said yes. Asher, finally. Asher. I've been watching the proposal countdown for 3 months. Asher. Kai had an actual spreadsheet. Asher with color coding. Asher, your man is extra. Me. I'm aware. Asher, can I tell you something? Me sure. Asher, I'm really glad Kai found you. Asher, he was so focused on family expectations for so long. Asher, seeing him this happy, this in love. Asher, it's everything I hoped for him when I left. Asher, thank you for loving my brother. Me, thank you for helping him plan the most elaborate proposal in human history. Asher, only the best for my future brother-in-law. Asher, also we're totally doing family dinners now. Asher, hope you're ready for that. Me, I'm ready for anything as long as Kai's there. And I mean it. Yesterday I thought my world was ending. Today I'm engaged to the love of my life. I've gained a brother-in-law who's apparently a master party planner. And I've learned that trust is hard but worth fighting for. What are you smiling about? Kai asks as we reach the car. Just thinking about how yesterday I wanted to throw things at you, and today I want to marry you. What a difference 24 hours makes. What a difference honesty makes. We get in Milo's car. Kai sitting in the back with me, our hands intertwined. Milo starts driving back toward my apartment, already planning the engagement party in detail that makes me slightly concerned for his sanity. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Asher. Asher, by the way. Asher, Kai's insisting we still do the fancy proposal next week. Asher says he wants you to have the full experience. Asher, so act surprised, okay? Me, I'm going to be the most surprised person who ever existed. Asher, perfect. Asher, also don't tell him I spoiled it. Asher, he'll disown me again. Me, your secret's safe with me. What are you texting about? Kai asks, reading over my shoulder. Nothing. Just confirming plans with Asher for next week. What plans? Wouldn't you like to know? Kai tickles my side, making me squirm. Tell me. Never. I'm allowed to have secrets too. After yesterday, I think we should both agree to fewer secrets. Fine. But this is a good secret. The kind that ends with you being very happy. I'm already very happy. Good. Because I plan to keep you that way for the next 60 or 70 years. Only 60 or 70? Fine. Forever. I plan to keep you happy forever. Kai kisses my temple. Forever works for me. We arrive at my apartment, and Kai carries his boxes back inside while Milo makes himself at home on my couch, apparently having decided he's staying for dinner. You know, I say, watching Kai unpack his things and put them back in their usual spots. When I was packing these boxes yesterday, I thought my life was over. Thought I'd never be happy again. And now I know that sometimes the worst moments lead to the best ones. That misunderstandings can be fixed. That love is worth fighting for. Very philosophical for someone who thought my brother was my secret boyfriend less than 3 hours ago. I contain multitudes. You contain neuroses. Same thing. Kai pulls me into his arms, holding me close. I really am sorry about yesterday, about the secrecy, about not giving you enough information to trust what you were seeing. And I'm sorry for not giving you the benefit of the doubt, for blocking you instead of listening, for nearly throwing away the best thing in my life because I was scared and hurt. We're both sorry. Now let's be sorry together. That's the worst romantic line I've ever heard. You're marrying me anyway. Unfortunately for my standards, yes. He kisses me, deep and slow and full of promise. When we break apart, Milo's voice cuts through the moment. You two are disgusting. I'm ordering pizza. Extra cheese. Extra cheese. Kai and I confirm in unison. The next week passes in a blur of normalcy and anticipation. Kai and I fall back into our routine like the last 2 days never happened. Except now there's a ring on my finger and plans for a wedding, and Asher's added to our friend group chat where he sends approximately 40 messages a day, mostly memes about wedding planning. I don't tell Kai that I know about the fancy proposal. Let him think his surprise is still intact. Spend my time pretending I don't notice him being suspiciously secretive about next Saturday. When Saturday finally arrives, Kai tells me to dress nice because we're going out to dinner. I pretend to believe him, even though Asher already sent me detailed instructions on what to wear. Something romantic but not too formal. Garden party chic. We drive to the botanical gardens. Dinner is nearby. Kai insists and I play along. Act surprised when he parks. Confused when he leads me down a path I've never taken before. Shocked when we round a corner and I see it. The setup is everything Asher promised and more. String lights draped between trees, casting warm gold light over everything. Flowers everywhere, roses, peonies, hydrangeas arranged in elegant displays. A small stage with an archway covered in white roses, exactly like in the photographs. Tables set with blue linens the color of my eyes, apparently scattered around a dance floor that's been set up on the grass. And standing around the space, all our friends and family. My parents, Kai's parents, Milo, Asher, all of them holding candles, watching as Kai leads me toward the rose arbor. Kai, I breathe, and I'm not acting now. This is real shock, real awe. This is everything I wanted to give you, he says. Everything you deserve. He guides me to the center of the space under the arbor, takes both my hands in his. Ezra, I know I already proposed. I know you already said yes. But I wanted to do this right. Wanted to show you exactly how much you mean to me. How much thought and love went into planning this moment. He drops to one knee, and even though I know it's coming, even though we've already been through this, my heart races like it's the first time. You walked into my life 2 years ago and changed everything. You made me laugh when I thought I'd forgotten how. You made me believe in forever when I'd given up on it. You make every day brighter just by existing in it. Tears stream down my face. Around us, I hear sniffling from our friends. I want to wake up next to you for the rest of my life. Want to share coffee with you every morning and hear about your day every evening. Want to hold your hand when things are hard and celebrate with you when things are good. Want to build a life with you, full of love and laughter and probably a concerning number of plants because I know you can't walk past a nursery without buying something. Laughter from the crowd. I laugh too, through my tears. Ezra-chan, will you marry me? Yes. I say, same as I did a week ago. Yes, always yes. Kai slips the ring off my finger, the one that's already there, and puts it back on, like it's the first time. Then he stands and kisses me as everyone around us cheers. The evening that follows is perfect. Dinner under the stars. Dancing to songs that mean something to us. Toasts from our friends that are equal parts heartfelt and embarrassing. Asher's speech makes everyone cry. Milo's speech makes everyone laugh. Kai's parents welcome me to their family with warmth that makes me feel like I've always belonged. Though I know building these relationships will take time. At one point, I find myself standing with Asher, watching Kai dance with his mother. Thank you, I tell him, for all of this, for telling me the truth, for helping Kai plan this, for being willing to meet a stranger who thought you were a homewrecker. I'm just glad it worked out, Asher says. I'd hate to be the reason my brother lost the love of his life. You're not. You're the reason he got to propose twice. True. I'm basically a romantic genius. Don't let it go to your head. Too late. We laugh together, and I realize I've gained more than a fiancé through all of this. I've gained a friend, a brother, a whole new family. Kai finds me as the evening winds down, pulling me close for a slow dance even though the music stopped. Happy? He asks, deliriously. No regrets about the misunderstanding? Well, I could have done without the emotional breakdown and the dramatic blocking spree. But in the end, it led us here. And here is perfect. Here is perfect, he agrees. We sway together under the stars, surrounded by flowers and love and the promise of forever. And I think about how 24 hours can change everything. How quickly happiness can turn to heartbreak and back again. How trust is both the hardest and most important thing in any relationship. But mostly I think about how lucky I am to have found Kai, to have friends who support us, to have a second chance at a first proposal, to have this moment, this night, this life. I love you, I whisper against his chest. I love you too, he whispers back. Forever and always. Forever and always. And as we stand there, holding each other in a garden full of roses, I know that whatever challenges come our way, whatever misunderstandings or fights or difficult moments the future holds, we'll face them together. Because that's what love is. Not perfection, but choosing each other every day. Choosing to trust, to forgive, to fight for what matters. And Kai matters. We matter. Everything else is just details. 3 months later, we get married in the same botanical garden, under the same rose arbor. Asher is our officiant, having apparently gotten ordained online specifically for this purpose, which he mentions proudly. Milo is my best man, giving a speech that makes everyone laugh until they cry. Kai's father offers a toast about finding love when you least expect it. My mother spends the entire ceremony sobbing happy tears. And when Kai and I say, I do, when we kiss as married men, when everyone cheers and throws rose petals that get in our hair and down our shirts, I think about that day in the coffee shop. The day I thought my world was ending. How wrong I was. That wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. The beginning of us learning to communicate better, to trust more deeply, to love more openly. Our honeymoon is spent in a small coastal town, walking on beaches and eating too much seafood and making plans for our future. We talk about the house we want to buy, the trips we want to take, whether we want kids and how many, what we'll name our inevitable army of houseplants. We talk about everything and nothing, the way couples do when they have all the time in the world and no rush to spend it. One evening, we're sitting on our rental cottage's porch, watching the sunset paint the sky in impossible colors, when Kai says, "Thank you." For what? For giving me a second chance. For not letting that misunderstanding be the end of our story. It was never going to be the end. Not when you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Even when you thought I was cheating? Even then. Because deep down, underneath the panic and